April 1945. Field Hospital near the Rhine. Private Tommy Jenkins raised his rifle and shot the German medic 3 times. Center mass. The medic fell, blood spreading across his Red Cross armband. He just spent 72 hours saving American soldiers, 50 of them. Jenkins didn't know that. He saw only the enemy uniform. When General Patton heard what happened, he had to choose: court-martial an American soldier for shooting a German, or let it go and lose everything he believed about honor. 72 hours earlier, Major Elizabeth Grant was operating in that same hospital. 36 hours straight. 30 American soldiers waiting, some dying. Not enough doctors. Not enough supplies. Then a German officer walked into her tent, hands raised, Red Cross armband visible. He spoke broken English. "I am Dr. Hauptmann Friedrich Weber. I have supplies. I help American wounded." Every instinct screamed enemy, threat, danger. But Grant looked at his medical bag, then at the dying Americans. "You can help." For 3 days, Weber worked like a machine. No sleep. He amputated legs, stopped bleeding, held dying men's hands. "You are brave," he told them. "Your family will be proud." American soldiers watched, suspicious but unable to deny it. This German was saving their brothers. Grant asked him once, "Why? We're your enemies." Weber looked at her with exhausted eyes. "I am doctor first, soldier second. Hippocratic oath has no nationality. War is over. Why should more men die for nothing?" By day 3, Grant had counted. Weber had saved 50 American soldiers. Then the fighting stopped. Germans retreated. Weber approached the American perimeter at dawn, hands raised, Red Cross armband visible, white flag raised, surrendering peacefully. Private Tommy Jenkins was on guard, 19 years old, Oklahoma farm boy, 4 months in Europe. 3 weeks earlier, his brother David died at Bastogne. German sniper. Tommy carried David's photo over his heart. When Weber approached, Tommy saw only the uniform that killed his brother. Something inside Tommy snapped. He raised his rifle, and nobody thought he'd actually fire. The German was surrendering. Red Cross, white flag, hands raised. Tommy pulled the trigger 3 times. Weber dropped, medical bag spilling, morphine, bandages, scalpels, the tools he'd used to save Americans. Major Grant heard the shots. She ran, saw Weber bleeding, saw Tommy standing there, face blank with shock. Grant screamed, a raw sound that made the entire camp freeze. American medics rushed Weber to the operating table. Grant worked on him with fury. He survived. Bullets missed vital organs, but the camp exploded. Doctors who'd watched Weber work were furious. They wanted Tommy arrested, court-martialed, executed. That German saved more lives than our own medics. We shot him for it? Infantry soldiers saw it differently. They understood Tommy. They'd all lost friends. Shooting a German felt like justice. The camp split. Doctors versus infantry. Everyone choosing sides. The report reached Patton the next morning. He read it twice. German medic saved 50 Americans. Private shot him during surrender. Camp near mutiny. Patton's staff expected him to defend his soldier, always. But Patton surprised them. "Get my jeep. I'm going to that hospital." "Sir, we can handle this." "A German medic saved 50 of my men. Then one of my men shot him. I need to see this myself." Before we continue, make sure you subscribe. We tell the stories about World War II that show the hardest decisions that define what kind of men we become. 3 hours later, Patton stood in the medical tent. Weber lay on a cot, pale, bandaged. Grant stood at attention. "At ease, Major. How is he?" "He'll live, sir." "Is it true? He saved 50 American soldiers?" "Yes, sir. I counted. Used his own supplies. Worked without sleep." Patton was quiet then. "Major, gather every soldier this German treated. 1 hour." 60 minutes later, 30 American soldiers stood in formation, some on crutches, some with arms in slings, one in a wheelchair. The men Weber saved. Patton spoke clearly. "Tell me what this German doctor did for you." Corporal James Mitchell stepped forward. "Sir, shrapnel in my chest. He operated. I'd be dead without him." Private Robert Hayes. "He amputated my leg, sir. Held my hand while I screamed." Private Michael O'Brien. He gave me his last morphine, for me instead of German wounded. One by one, 30 soldiers testified. Patton turned to Grant. Where is Private Jenkins? Stockade, sir. Bring him here. Tommy stood before Patton, terrified. Patton looked at him. Private, why did you shoot that German? Tommy's voice shook. Sir, he was the enemy. My brother died at Bastogne. German sniper. I saw the uniform and I couldn't let another one live. You saw a uniform, not a man, not a medic, just an enemy. Yes, sir. How many Germans have you killed in combat? 3, sir. 3 in combat, that's war. Patton paused, but this German wasn't shooting. He was surrendering. Red Cross armband, white flag, and you shot him anyway. Silence. Before you pulled that trigger, did you know this German saved 50 American soldiers? No, sir. Did you know he worked 3 days using his own supplies to keep your brothers alive? No, sir. Did you know the men behind me are only alive because of him? Tommy's face crumbled. No, sir. Patton turned to the soldiers. Did anyone tell Private Jenkins what this German did? Silence. Sergeant Mike Donovan stepped forward. No, sir. We didn't think it mattered. He was still German. Patton's voice hardened. It matters, Sergeant. It matters more than anything. He turned back to Tommy. If you'd known, would you still have pulled the trigger? Tommy looked down. I don't know, sir. Honest answer. Patton stepped closer. You're not a bad soldier. You're a grieving brother. You wanted revenge. I understand that. He paused. But the man you shot saved 50 American lives, 50 brothers who will go home because a German doctor decided saving lives mattered more than winning a war. Tommy was crying now. You want to honor your brother? Don't shoot medics. Don't kill men trying to save lives. Patton's final words were quiet but firm. Private Jenkins, you are charged with assault on a prisoner of war. You will face court-martial. The camp stirred, some shocked, others nodding. Grant spoke up. Sir, Hauptmann Weber requested to testify on behalf of Private Jenkins. Everyone stared. The man who shot him wants to defend him? Yes, sir. The court-martial happened 1 week later. 3 officers presiding. Prosecution laid out the case. Jenkins shot a surrendering prisoner. A medic. 3 bullets. Evidence overwhelming. Then defense called Hauptmann Friedrich Weber. Weber walked in slowly, still weak. Clean German uniform. Medical insignia. Defense asked, Hauptmann Weber, Private Jenkins shot you 3 times. Do you want him punished? Weber looked at Tommy. Their eyes met. Tommy looked away, ashamed. Weber spoke carefully. I do not want punishment. I want understanding. Explain. I am German officer. I fought 5 years. When this young American shot me, I was not surprised. I understand. He saw a uniform. He saw enemy. He saw everything he learned to hate. This is what war does. It teaches us to hate without thinking. Silence. I do not blame him. I blame the war. I blame the machine that takes young boys and turns them into killers. He looked at Tommy. This boy shot me because war taught him to hate, but maybe he can learn to see beyond the uniform. What would you have the court do? Show mercy. This boy is not criminal. He is victim of war. Punishing him creates only more pain. War has given enough pain. Prosecutor stood. Hauptmann Weber, the law is clear. Shooting a surrendering prisoner is a war crime. Your forgiveness doesn't change that. Weber looked at him. Law is clear, but what is purpose of law? To punish or to make better world? If you show mercy, you teach that even in darkness, there is light. Patton stood from the back. General Patton, do you wish to address the court? I do. Patton walked forward. I've thought about this case for a week. Private Jenkins committed a crime. He shot a surrendering prisoner, a medic who saved American lives. Tommy went pale. But Hauptmann Weber showed us something, that even in war there can be humanity, forgiveness. He turned to the tribunal. I recommend Private Jenkins be found guilty, but his sentence should reflect the circumstances. 10 years military prison, suspended after 2 if he completes psychological evaluation. During those 2 years, he serves as medical orderly. He works in hospitals. He saves lives. He learns what Weber knows, that a life is a life, regardless of uniform. The tribunal deliberated 2 hours. Guilty. sentenced exactly as Patton recommended. After trial, Weber approached Tommy. Tommy flinched. Weber extended his hand. "You are young. You will live long life. Learn from this. Be better man than war tried to make you." Tommy took his hand. They shook. Two enemies trying to find humanity. Patton watched. He turned to Grant. "Did we do the right thing, Major?" "I don't know, sir, but we did the human thing." "Sometimes that's enough." Tommy served 2 years as medical orderly, then became a nurse, spent 40 years treating soldiers. Weber returned to Germany, lost his medical license, became a pharmacist. In 1950, Tommy wrote to Weber. They corresponded 30 years until Weber's death in 1980. Tommy attended the funeral. "You saved me twice, when you forgave me, and when you taught me how to live with what I'd done." Years later, a historian interviewing veterans from that field hospital asked Major Grant what she remembered most about the incident. She was quiet for a long time, then said, "I remember thinking that day how easy it is to see an enemy, and how hard it is to see a human being wearing an enemy's uniform. Weber chose to see the human. Tommy chose to see the uniform. And Patton? He chose to make us all look at both until we couldn't ignore what we'd become. That's leadership nobody teaches you in any war college. What would you have done? Prosecuted your own soldier or protected him? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more stories about impossible moral choices, subscribe.